Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Bigfoot Weekly. Today is Wednesday, July 10th, 2013. Appreciate all the comments and suggestions from last week's video and the new subscribers. Appreciate that. Also, there was a comment made last video about the firefighters, or the hotshot firefighters, 19 of them that were lost here in Arizona a little over a week and a half ago. Remembered them, and so I appreciate that as well. So let's just go ahead and get started. All right, Joe Rogan hosting his own show on Sci-Fi. Joe Rogan takes on Bigfoot, UFOs on Sci-Fi show. This show is scheduled to debut July 24th, and let me look for the title. Yeah, it's called Joe Rogan Questions Everything. July 24th on Sci-Fi. You know, Joe is a big Bigfoot enthusiast. He follows Bigfoot. He's appeared on a few shows. He's hosted guests where the topic has been Bigfoot. And so I think he'll be a good host. Should be a good show. So get your DVRs ready for July 24th. Today being the July 10th, should be just a couple weeks away. So I'm looking forward to that. Check it out. Alright, next item here is for the guys. Yes, that is Megan Fox. Megan Fox talks Bigfoot, aliens, and Lindsay Lohan. She mentions that she believes in Bigfoot, follows Bigfoot, aliens, of course, and then Lindsay Lohan is quite another topic. But check it out, guys. I'll post the link. We're in good company, aren't we? Alright, moving on. This is Melba Ketchum's response to the Psy guy Eric Berger. His what he did is he took some samples from Melba Ketchum and had them tested, DNA tested in a lab of his choosing, and it turned out that the results from that lab said that were possum DNA, and so Melba is fighting that claim vigorously. So check that out. And she also has Facebook, if you ever want to check her out on Facebook. She posts a little more regularly now than before. She was pretty quiet there for quite a long time, but anytime there's news or some new breakthrough or something, she posts it right away. So check that out. Alright, this was recommended by and suggested by a subscriber. It's called RealityGhost, name of the channel. This channel was created by a First Nations person. I understand he's Native American, and he conducts his studies in this forest that has just all kinds of anomalies, and not just Bigfoot, UFO lights, screams, talking, digitized talking, stuff being moved around. Just he even claims that in certain areas of the forest where he feels as though he's only been there an hour or two, and then later it turns out he's lost half a day, is interesting as well. So it's not all Bigfoot, it's just stuff that he goes out there and finds, and it's pretty interesting stuff, so take a look at that. Okay, this is Sasquatch Ontario. I got several requests or suggestions to do something on Sasquatch Ontario, and I'm sure most everyone has heard and seen their channel. These guys in Ontario have, their claims are they have a habituation site of Bigfoot, or several Bigfoot, or a few Bigfoot, and they're able to capture, a lot of things that most researchers don't even get a chance to do. It's not just footprints, it's vocalizations, it's weaved gifts left behind, and even in the last video, the Bigfoot calls out Mike, which is one of the guys' names. There's two guys named Mike involved here, Mike Patterson and Mike Smith, I believe. And so you can hear the Bigfoot call Mike, and when I heard the Bigfoot calling for Mike, it reminded me of, never mind. My older brother's name is Mike, and we used to go drinking and tie a few on, and I'll just leave it at that. Alright, so let's move on. And Alex Munoz did a kind of his own investigation of the Sasquatch Ontario claims, and some of his stuff is compelling. I mean, you have to admit, he's looking here at some of the fingerprints, and they, they appear to be drawn in here. Like a spot was missed, jagged edge, other things like that. That to him, just weren't adding up. And you look at it, and it does cast some doubt on what those guys are doing. So check that out, and he also does a vocal analysis on this video as well. It's called Sasquatch Ontario: Closer Look at Inconsistencies in the Sask. But I do know that Alex and the Ontario guys were embroiled in a little bit of a back and forth. Nonetheless, though, I think Alex did a really good job of putting this information together, and he just put it out there. So take a look at that. This next one, this is funny. This guy's name is ThePsychedelicShroom, and I think he might even be a subscriber. Yeah, I think so. Debunking Sasquatch Ontario challenge, and he goes into his bathroom, and I'll be darned if he didn't almost hit that on the nose. He sounded like a Sasquatch. Check that out. That's funny as hell. All right, moving on. This fella, David Batdorf, did an audio breakdown also of Sasquatch Ontario. He used a little bit different gear and equipment than Alex Munoz did. But he did his was maybe just a little more in depth, and he experimented a little more, and just watch this stuff. It's interesting. It'll enlighten you, and you'll have to formulate your own opinion after his work. And he's not saying anything one way or the other. He just did the study and did a few experiments for everyone to kind of look at and decide for themselves. So this is pretty good stuff. This one definitely worth watching. And here's his channel. He's a Bigfoot researcher, and his opening video here talks about the difference between evidence and data. And most of us amateur researchers, when we go out in the field, we're just looking for evidence, but he talks about the difference between evidence and data, and how data supports evidence. This is very important, so check that out. And he's got a bunch of videos as well. And he's very, I wonder if he's not in the science field, because he's very methodical. But anyway, check him out. Alright, that's all I've got this week with regard to my thoughts on Sasquatch Ontario. And this is just my opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own, and please post your comments, your ideas, your thoughts as well are welcome. Is that it? Well, first of all, it's unfortunate that the only thing I could find outside of their channel is just stuff that doesn't support their claims. The stuff that Alex Munoz was able to put together is pretty compelling. It's pretty compelling against their claims. And then when you add in this other fellow's analysis of the vocalizations, it just doesn't support what the mics say, is going on out there. That's unfortunate. What it's going to take for me to believe that Sasquatch Ontario actually is habituating Bigfoot is for them to take the next step and capture video of these Bigfoot walking around, eating, vocalizing and interacting with the mics. If the rub there is that one of the mics claims that they've established a trust relationship with these Bigfoot, and that they don't like cameras, they don't like to be filmed, and he says he's not about that. He doesn't care about capturing them on film or proving to the world that that this habituation site is real, and that the work that they claim out there is true. But that's what it's going to take for me, is video evidence. So at some point, if the mics are going to take that next step in building more credibility, they're going to have to build trust in these Bigfoot such that they can capture them on video and capture them doing, whatever it is Bigfoot do, eating, walking around, vocalizing, all of those things, to prove that these are actually, the real deal. That's what it's going to take for me, and that doesn't mean that what I'm saying is that they're a fraud. Just stuff out there that doesn't support their claims, and that's too bad, because if they had something more like video evidence, the work that they're doing out there would, you know, blow the lid off of a lot of Bigfoot investigations. I mean, it would be ranked amongst the top, I would think. But that hasn't happened yet, and we'll just have to wait and see if it does. Anyway, that's just my opinion, my thoughts. Everyone's entitled to theirs. I appreciate if you post, comment yours as well. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate new subscribers, and then those who were with me from the beginning. You know who you are. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll talk again next week. Thanks.